And with that, Rattler Nation, we welcome you to a matchup here today in beautiful Bill Greehey Arena between the St. Mary's Rattlers and the McMurray Eagles. Joe Rodriguez here, joined at this time by Kayleen Zelznak. Kayleen, your first time on the mic this year. How are you feeling here today?
I think I've got first-time jitters, but other than that, I think I'm doing all right. Excited to be here.
All right, well, great. Kayleen, you've seen this Rattler squad in action so far today. Michaela Bass starting out on the court. Good to see her back. Jenna Paul also drawing a start, along with Obermiller, Huber. It looks like Ortega out there, and, of course, the libero, Victoria Martinez. What have you seen so far out of this Rattler squad that you like, and what do they need to improve on so far to start this year?
So far, I think that they are very young. They need to develop their leadership a little bit. The skill is there, the chemistry is still building, and I think that give them a little bit more time and they're definitely going to find their groove. They're coming off a win streak on the road, and hopefully they can carry that momentum with them today.
Win streak you're talking about, a 3-game spurt for the Rattlers. That one before dropping the final game against Texas A&M Commerce. So 3-5 on the year for the ladies. They're going up against McMurray, 2-7 so far. And it looks like the Rattlers are back to serve. Michaela Bass to get us back underway. Kayleen, I've asked Nolan this, I've asked David this. What Rattler are you watching this season? Who are you excited to see grow? Who are you excited to blossom?
I'll tell you, I'm really excited about this freshman middle that we have, Lauren Slaughter. I've seen some good things from her so far, and I think that she's going to be a huge addition to the team in the coming years. I haven't seen a whole lot of the other freshman 6'2", Megan Isbell, but I'm excited to see her get the opportunity to kind of prove what she can do in the middle. Michaela Bass, obviously, she's still young, trying to fill the void that Allie Murray left us last year. I think that she's definitely going to step into that leadership role this year. And, of course, the freshman setter, Rachel, I believe her last name, I hope I don't butcher it too badly, Shishitano?
Shishitano.
Yes.
Don't worry, everyone said that name wrong at least once.
In the few games that she has played so far in the shoes of Michaela when she had her injury, I believe she's done a great job and kind of had to be pushed through those original freshman jitters that I'm sure she had coming into the season.
All right, well, teams trading points here as we start early, 2-1. Carly Ortega back to serve. Ortega, one of the few seniors on this team, and she puts that one into the net. Just wasn't able to get that teardrop over, 2-2. Kayleen, it being your first broadcast of the year, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself. You've played volleyball for a lot of your life, correct?
I did. I played for about 8 years. I played at Brandeis High School my freshman year, and I hurt my knee and I hurt my back, so I had to kind of take a step away from it. I'm actually looking to get back into volleyball coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'm an exercise, sport, and science major here at St. Mary's University, sophomore. I have been working in the communications sports information department since my freshman year, and I'm really enjoying it. And
you were the freshman of the year last year.
I was the rookie of the year last year, yes.
Part of the A team.
The A team.
Well, 3 apiece here. Jenna Paul back to serve. Jenna getting back into swing of playing. I've heard she's been practicing really hard. 3 apiece here. And that's what I like best out of the St. Mary's team so far to start this year. From what we've seen, a big-time mid-presence out of both Holman and, like you talked about earlier, Slaughter. Can you talk about how important it is to have those middle blockers for you?
You know, it is absolutely crucial for a team to have a solid middle who's very agile, light on her feet, and can put up a solid block. It's really important for a middle blocker to be able to position herself in front of where the hit is, so she needs to be able to read the game and read the setter really well. Holman has done a great job of that. Last year, Obermiller, who I think they transitioned to play outside this year. I haven't seen a whole lot of her this year. But Holman has done a great job in the middle. She's very light on her feet, very quick. Slaughter has a very solid build, and she puts up a great block. From what I've observed a little bit, they need to do a little bit better job maybe closing the block, especially on the right side. But other than that, I think the middle is going to be a big big asset for the Rattlers this year.
All right, well, 5-4 now the score in favor of McMurray. You see Heft coming into the game for the first time today. Jenna Paul will head on over to the bench. Holman able to flick that one over, kind of a backhand there. That one too much for Bass to handle. The Eagles now with the first 2-point advantage of the day, 6-4. Serving is Peyton Evans. That one bit overpassed, and McMurray able to take advantage, 7-4. They're out to that quick start. Kayleen, again, asking you, we're going to pick your brain since you're the only one to play really volleyball religiously. How important is it getting out to that quick start? Is it something like basketball where you can come back and make runs in the game? Or is it more of a you have to get out to that quick start in order to transition into the later stages of the game?
I'd say in volleyball it is a little bit easier to kind of break the momentum. You can call a timeout when somebody has a good serving streak going on. A kill can change the momentum for a team. Really anything can change the momentum. A big block. In basketball,
as we see Shishitano and Slaughter come into the game for the first time. Sorry to cut you off there.
Kind of changing the pace there. But, I mean, momentum is important in volleyball, but it's not too hard to change directions like it would be in basketball.
Martinez there, equal to the task, and challenge again. That one too much. 8-6. Martinez, another to-watch player, the libero for the Rattlers.
I believe she earned the Libero of the Week honors in one of these past couple of weeks for the Heartland Conference.
Yeah, just one of the many awards Rattlers always seem to win.
Yeah.
As Huber gets the kill there. Martina is actually an Arlington native. I always feel obligated to say that. Same hometown as me. I told Dave the story, I'll tell you as well. I saw her a couple of times at the mall over summer break. Just kind of oh, hey, what's up? Yeah.
Did you get a chance to talk to her at all?
Oh yeah, I talk to her every now and then. I actually drop by where she works every now and then, like because I shop there. I'm not going to disclose until I ask her information, well, for her permission. But yeah, talk to her every now and then. She always seems to be working out and stuff, so expecting big things from her this year.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a young squad, so there's only up from where they've been.
And the thing about this young squad that I've really noticed to start is their chemistry is really excellent. You see them on and off the court, they always seem to be goofing around, but when game time comes around, it's game faces on.
Yeah, they're a very tight-knit group. And I think that's definitely important in volleyball. Communication is absolutely crucial in all athletics, but volleyball especially.
And you see them, after a big play, more than willing to celebrate with their teammates. It's one of the great things about volleyball. You have the fans cheering in the crowd, but it seems like sometimes the volleyball players are pumping each other up more than anybody else.
Yeah, it's important to come in and celebrate every point that you earn because you do earn that point with your team.
Well, 10-8 here. That one finds the line, 9-10 now. Rattlers and McMurray keeping this one close to start. Holman and Bass will come in. Shishitano and Slaughter will head on over to the bench. Pretty good crowd for Thursday evening. Quite a few students in attendance. Of course, the Rowdy Rattlers and some athletes over there too, I can see.
It looks like the Lady Rattlers are struggling a little bit on defense tonight, kind of getting their feet set before the ball is even determined the direction.
And that's what defense is all about, really, right?
It's reading, yeah.
Yeah, anticipation and positioning, I believe, were always what I was taught when I played briefly. So that one's met at the net. That one, again, put down to the hardwood. 9-12. So what in particular are you reading when you're getting in position like that? Are you reading the setter? Are you reading the person who's about to hit?
I'd say that you're kind of reading a lot of different things. You're looking at where the setter has her shoulders squared off and what hitter is whether they're faking an approach or whether they are actually going to hit. You're also looking at the position of the hand. Sometimes they'll have their hand wide open, which means that they're going to hit the ball. And if they have their hand in kind of a softer position, they're generally going to tip it and try and place it where you can't get to it. Other times you will be reading what's on the other side of the court, and that's all you can do.
It's Bass looking like a defensive specialist on this play. She got 2 digs there. Rattlers able to eventually converge and get the point, 13-10.
And that's one of the momentum shifts that we were talking about earlier. Is after a long rally and you finally win that, you can kind of shift that momentum to help you and your team out.
Ortega on to serve here. That's met at the net. Holman and Obermiller there. Oh, Huber, beg your pardon, Kelsey. Point to the Rattlers. Jenna Paul able to put that one down, taking advantage of the pass. 13-12 now. And this is a point in the game where you really start wanting to make your run, correct? You're about 10 points away from the game. Momentum here could be huge. Jenna Paul skies through the air with the greatest of ease. 13 apiece. Jenna Paul just seems to elevate just about as well as anybody on the team. David and I have discussed before, I'll discuss with you. You think her or Kelsey Huber jumps higher? Because Kelsey can jump pretty high usually.
I honestly couldn't answer that for you. From what I can see, it looks like Jenna hangs in the air a little bit longer than Kelsey. I'm not too sure.
Back to serve. Aisa Garcia, the libero. Paul on the kill. Does just that. 14 apiece now. As Paul's trying to ignite the Rattlers here. Heft heading into the game. Martinez will get a quick sip of water. She'll probably head right back in. That one floated over. That was Holman there, somehow sent back over. Heft now. She's met at the net. Here's Huber taking her swing. That one put down. Kayla Hines on the kill. 15-14 now for McMurray. These teams continue to trade. Evans back to serve. Evans is setter and one of only 2 seniors actually on this McMurray team. One's tipped at the net. Holman's met. Martinez just doing all kinds of work back there. And Heft, that one just out of play. So 16-14 now. The Rattlers looking for a break here. It'll be Huber. That one's sent back in the net. Holman and Huber again. Like you said, the left side of the net holding strong for the Rattlers. Shishitano and Slaughter will come into the game. Holman and Bass head to the bench. Shishitano on the serve. That one dug out by Martinez, but not enough air underneath it. And that has to be a difficult position to play, the back mid. You're a libero of your team, a lot of ground to cover there.
Yeah, the libero definitely has a big job, but if you're quick on your feet and you have a good read on the other team, you're going to do just fine as a libero.
to the Rattlers, 16-17 now. I think one of the McMurray players got called for reaching over the net when the setter was trying to set the ball. That one sent back. Heft and Slaughter combined there. 17 apiece. If you're a Rattlers, it's the kind of situation you want to be in. Huber back to serve. Got some young freshmen on the court to bring some energy. See if they can go get the game.
You also have 3 powerhouses in the front row with Slaughter, Heft, and Ortega.
18-17 now for McMurray. Martinez handles that one calmly. Heft. Boy, she put that one down in a hurry.
That is exactly the kind of power that you need to see from your right side. Heft does a great job of putting the ball away.
Martinez on to serve now. 18 apiece. Been trading since we started. Not a timeout yet. That one tipped over. Great hustle by Ortega. Jenna Paul now. We're going to call a double touch there on Shishitano, so 19-18 now. So Rattlers and McMurray both racing to see who can claim this important first game in a best-of-5 series. No, not what you want there. That one into the tape. That's one of the things I like about volleyball. It really punishes mistakes, it feels like, more than any sport.
The points weigh a lot heavier in volleyball than they do in any other sport.
Bass now on to serve. Holman also into the game. And that one finds the court of the Rattlers. Ortega wasn't able to time it up, so 20-19 now for McMurray. Harkins there on the serve. And Ortega attacking from the middle, 20 apiece now. That's not something we usually see her do there. So Rattlers looking to mix it up a bit. Now Ortega on to serve. That one too much for Bass. Hines puts it away. These teams just continue to trade points. Garcia now back to serve. It's handled by Ortega. Great pass. Jenna Paul puts it down. And as much as the hit looks pretty by Paul, you really have to credit Ortega there on the pass, right?
Yeah, the passing is super important in volleyball, especially when you want to utilize your middle. If you don't have a perfect pass to the setter, it's difficult to get a good hit out of that. But I've always been told that a good hitter doesn't always need a good set. They will make a play out of whatever they're given.
The Rattlers here now on advantage. They have the free ball. And Holman not on the same page as Bass there. Paul on the dig. It'll be Huber. Hines now. She's met at the net. Nice little pop-up. Heft sends it over herself. A double touch going to be called here. So the Rattlers, for the first time it feels like a long time, at advantage. Paul on the ball. Hines to swing. And this one sails out of bounds, but tipped by the Rattlers, 22 apiece. Substitutions here. It'll be Hirth coming in for Snow. Back to serve is Evans. Heft to swing the lefty. That one's met the net, but still too much for the Rattlers to handle. McMurray bounces right back in front. The Rattlers will take a timeout, the first of the game. We'll go on ahead and take it with them as you're watching the Rattler Network in HD.
Yes, I am.
Give it to him hard.
No, now.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why are you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how.
Oh, you got...
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
And welcome back, Rattler Nation. Bill Greehey Arena is the venue. St. Mary's Rattlers Volleyball is what you're watching. 23-22, McMurray at advantage in this first game. The Rattlers looking to fight back. Ortega to send it over the net. Bass there on the dig. Huber slipped a little, so she just has to tip it back over. Now they're challenge Martinez in the back. Heft actually going right-handed there, but it went outside the pole, so 24-22 now. So it's game point for McMurray in this best of 5 series, sorry.
Goodness, that would be a long match if it was best of 7.
Yeah. I have baseball on the brain, I have to admit, so it has to be best of 7.
It happens from time to time.
Well, first game goes to McMurray. Be on a quick 3-minute break and be right back to bring you game 2 as you're watching Rattlers Volleyball on the brand new Rattler Network.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
welcome back, Rattler Nation, to Game 2 of this volleyball series between McMurray and St. Mary's. 1-0, the lead for McMurray, and the Rattlers jump ahead with that first point of the game. Kayleen, what'd you see out of both sides there in the first game? What can the Rattlers improve on?
I didn't think their defense was very consistent in the first set. I think they were playing a little bit shallow. There were a couple miscommunications. I think Bass is still trying to regain her footing from her injury, so I think she's going to kind of break through here in the next couple of sets. Other than that, I think they were putting up a solid block at the net. They were doing really well attacking the ball and placing it. So I think just the defensive part of the game is where they need to put in a little bit of work here in the next couple sets.
As we see a little bit of net play there, Holman and Huber combining on the block. 2-0 the advantage for the Rattlers. Number 2 back to serve, that's Ortega. Evans there on the swing. Evans listed as the setter of this Rattler team. As Bass not able to get the pancake there, but Evans, like I was saying, listed as the setter of this team, but took a big swing there. 2-1 now for the Rattlers. McMurray trying to fight their way back. It's Harkins back to serve. And it's a beaut. Ortega not really able to do much with that one. 2-2. As I'm sure you can see, Rattler fans, on our beautiful new HD broadcast, you can see all kinds of spin being put on the ball. Top spin heavy there. Also some floaters and some teardrops being dropped in. Can you tell us, having played a little bit yourself, Kayleen, what do those serves do to you? How do they discombobulate you? Let's start with top spin there, because that was the serve we just saw.
Top spin is really just going to go over the net at a really quick pace, and it's just going to drop. Another common serve is the floater, where you just kind of hit the sweet spot on the ball with a really soft touch, and it just kind of floats, and it makes it difficult to determine whether it's going to go left, whether it's going to go right, or whether it's just going to drop.
It's kind of like a knuckler, right?
A little
to
bit.
make the baseball analogy.
A little bit, yeah.
That's what I used to serve. I used to serve a floater, actually.
I had a pretty good floater. Actually, in middle school, I believe I still hold the record for the most consecutive serves at 21, I believe.
Wow.
21.
That's pretty amazing. Well, the thing about the floater is if you just hit it just right, it gets that eerie look to it, like it shouldn't be flying through the air, but it is.
Yeah, with a floater, you're going to hit it with a very open hand and a really light touch and a stiff wrist. With the top spin, you're going to kind of snap your wrist, not so much that it goes down, but just to get that spin on the ball.
As Hirth comes into the game, Snow will head on over to the bench. That one a bit too hard by Evans. 5-4 now in favor of the Rattlers. We should get you to have a new show, Kayleen. Coach Kayleen.
I don't know about that one.
Teach all our young Rattler fans how to serve the ball and all the fundamentals.
Clinic or something.
I'd be the first to sign up for your class. I'm always looking to learn.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I don't know how much you would learn, but I appreciate that.
All right. Well, 6-4 now for the Rattlers, as they seem to be the ones doing the schooling in this game.
I've seen a lot of mistakes on the McMurray side. They've had a couple of missed serves at really crucial points in the game, a couple of setting errors. I mean, I don't know if they're just trying to make their game too fancy, but I've seen a couple of errors that have cost them some points at just bad parts of the game.
Well, that last point looked pretty good there for McMurray. 6-5 now. Back to serve is Hines. A little teardrop handled by Martinez. Heft on the hit there. That one. Too much for Ortega, finding the sweet spot for the Rattlers. 6-6 now the score. Martinez, that one rolled up on her. Huber still able to put it down. And a free ball now for the Rattlers. Here's Ortega. That one sailed on her. She got underneath it. 7-6 now as McMurray has rallied back. Hines still on the serve. That one sails out. 7 apiece now. Martinez now back to serve. So you can probably see Huber giving the signal of where to serve it to. Jenna Paul making the most of her opportunity. 8-7 now.
Jenna's had a great game so far tonight. I'm glad to see her get back into that groove, and I'm glad that the setters are noticing who's on and who isn't.
Martinez back to serve again. That one just off the line, 8 apiece now. It's points like those that you really hate to give up.
Yeah, especially like we were talking about earlier, the momentum shift in a missed serve can absolutely change that for a team.
Paul now hitting from the middle. She had the tip there. Now Ortega on the tip. That one finding just in front of Huber. 9-8 now for McMurray. Seaton to serve. Martinez, a great pass there. And Ortega converts. 9 apiece now, and here comes Bass and Holman. Slaughter and Chishitano heading over toward the bench. Michaela Bear Bass, her nickname.
Yeah, we had a conversation with her mom about that.
She wants us to bring the nickname Bear back. An incredible athlete, a state champion in soccer.
I believe that she also has a state championship in volleyball under her
She
belt.
does, I believe. So a 2-sport state champion. The soccer coach, the soccer came her freshman year. She was a defender at the time, and eventually she made the choice to play volleyball exclusively. That was her junior year. So you can imagine her soccer coach not very happy about that. And so he came out to a game and he was watching it alongside her mother. This is a story from her mother, by the way. And apparently the soccer coach was watching the game and said, doesn't really look like she does much. But in reality, that's one of the biggest compliments you can pay to a setter, because if it doesn't look like they're doing much, probably means they're not messing up at all.
Being a setter is definitely hard work. It's absolutely being the quarterback of the team, knowing where to set the ball. It's a hard job. I was a setter for a long time, and it's not an easy position to play, but if you make it look like you're not doing much, then that's a huge compliment to you.
Paul there, she's met at the net. 12-10 now for McMurray. Pass on the set. Ortega will send it over. They're on the dig. I believe a double touch was going to be called there on Huber. 13-10 now, and the Rattlers really need to break this momentum. They'll try to do it with a timeout. We'll take it with them. So you're watching Rattlers Volleyball on the brand new Rattler Network.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And welcome back, Rattler Nation. 13-10, the advantage for McMurray. Jenna Paul hitting from the center of the net. And just a bit of a collision there between Ortega and Bass, and ball actually ends up hitting Ortega on the back. So a double hit by her. 14-10 now, and it's something that you see with younger teams every now and then. That's what you see from experienced teams. Holman right there with the reply, 14-11, as she emphatically ends the run by McMurray.
That's definitely one of the things that you want to see out of your middle. You want to see not only a solid block, but you want to see players that can just put the ball away and put the ball away in a place where the other team has no chance in getting that ball up.
To me, having a dominant middle like that is like having a dominant center in basketball. It's just so noticeable. They're getting to every single ball. They're all over the place. And their will's really being put onto the game when you have a great player like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of parallels with volleyball that can be drawn to other sports. The setter's like the quarterback, also like the point guard. The center in basketball is like the middle in volleyball.
16-11 here. And a double touch on McMurray. There's been an abundance of those called here today. A little bit sloppy to play. 16-12 now. Be Paul on the ball. Heft has come into the game. Huber and Holman there combined on the block. Again, Huber challenged by Evans. That one eventually just sent over. And Ortega there on the dig, but right to McMurray. They'll have a free swing here. It's dug out by Bear. Here's Huber. And she jumped a little bit too early there. Was just able to tip it and sent back by McMurray. 17-12 now for McMurray. Holman there on the hit. Ortega on the dig. Here's Huber. That one, she didn't miss time her jump and was able to put it down. 17-13 now. As Shishitano and Slaughter will re-enter. So we've already talked about the new freshmen, Shishitano, Slaughter, Isbell also to an extent. Who has impressed you the most out of the young group?
I'd say Shishitano. Is that the right way to say that?
That is correct.
Yeah, I think she has really stepped into a position on the team where, I mean, the team doesn't have a whole lot of depth. They have two setters. They have the freshman Shishitano and they have Bass. And it's a young position, and if you can fill that, I think you're going to set a foundation for your team for the next couple of years to be a really solid contender.
Shishitano also immediately thrown into a difficult role, as we saw earlier with Bass, the injury, back to 100% now, but Shishitano, she had to fill those entire minutes. So the Rattlers, who usually are I believe it's called a 6-2 team, became a 5-1 team. Laying down some knowledge there, Kayleen Arnold. And so that was really difficult to her. And, you know, her first game where it was going to be her the full time, you could see the look on her face, a little bit worried. But I then saw Coach Warmack Chipman just go up to her before the game started. I saw her audibly mouth the words, have fun, you know, go out there, do the best you can. And Shishitano really just stepped up in a big way. And really helped this Rattler squad during that Rattler Hilltopper Classic tournament.
Yeah, as a setter, the pressure is always going to be there to be able to perform and distribute to your hitters and just be smart about it. But there is a fun aspect to being a setter in the fact that you're quarterbacking your team, and as a freshman, I think that's even more fun. And being able to step into that role so soon and be able to prove yourself, I think that was probably a great honor for Shoshone.
Well, McMurray looking to run away with it here, 20-15 now. Here's Ortega to swing. And it's just going to be sent over by Garcia. Slaughter on the dig there. Now Ortega. That one sent back. Slaughter and Hef combine.
And that's exactly the kind of thing that we're looking to see out of Slaughter. It's just to be that solid body at the net.
And we saw that out of Slaughter. Her first game that she played with the Rattlers, she came in, she was explosive, she dominated the net. Still seeing flashes of that every now and then, but that first game she played absolutely out of her mind.
Yeah, it looks like she has about 24 total blocks on the season. And that's second behind Coleman. So as a freshman to be just underneath your sophomore middle, she's definitely going to be a great addition this year in the middle.
Well, 21-16 now. So you see Slaughter on the hit there, but she's sent back. 22-16 now as McMurray looks to pull away in this second game. Rattlers going ahead and take a quick timeout. We'll take it with them as you're watching Rattlers Volleyball on the brand new Rattler Network.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
And welcome back, Rattler fans. 22-16 the score. 22-17 now. Let's go on ahead and chalk that point up to Coach Warmack Chickman there on the timeout. Do you believe in that? Icing a server?
I do, actually, and it's been done to me on multiple counts where you were on a serve streak and the other team is just going to call a timeout, not because anybody's doing anything wrong, but just to break that momentum.
So you're a firm believer in icing then?
I am, absolutely.
I'm a firm believer in icing when it's done to anybody except for me. Otherwise, I always thought that to myself when I was playing, and I had a pretty decent serve. This was from 6th grade to 8th grade, so obviously the prime of my career as Bass, not able to get that one over. 23-18 now. But every time I was iced, I just didn't think that it was real at all. I'm like, yeah, it's not a thing.
No, I missed that because there was something that I did, not because the other team tried to ice me, right?
Of course. Well, 23-18 now. Holman able to flick that one on over. And that one again just finds the soft spot of the court. And McMurray will be on game point as they look to jump ahead 2-0 in this best of 5. Paul on the dig, be Ortega attacking. She tips it over, sends it right back over. Evans sends it. Jenna Paul now, she has to tip as well. And Holman able to win that one in the net. She beats Connors. So this game will be extended a little bit, 24-19 now, Ortega to serve. Rattlers, no mistakes allowed if they don't want to go down 2-0. Evans, that one's dug out by Martinez. Huber now. And she killed that one. 24-20. What do you have to do in order to make a comeback like one of these?
You just really have to keep your team up in spirits and just be ready for anything.
Well, unfortunately, the Rattlers not able to do it here. Game 2 to McMurray by a score of 25-20. Before we go to break, Rattler fans, we want to remind you, follow us on Twitter at St. Mary's Rattlers. Like us on Facebook. You can look us up at St. Mary's Rattlers. Also, check out the new website, rattlerathletics.com, where you can check out the newest articles and write-ups of the games. You read up by articles by Robin Johnson, and of course, Tovar's Take by our own David Tovar. And coming very soon, the first rendition of A Cup of Joe, if I can go on ahead and plug that one on in there. Also, for the first time, you can look us up on Instagram at St. Mary's Rattlers, the same handle as Twitter. So, thank you, Rattler fans, for watching. We'll be right back. 2-0 the edge for McMurray as you're watching Rattlers Volleyball on rattlerathletics.com.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And welcome back, Rattler fans. If you heard a lunatic shouting while we were going to break, that was our own David Tovar pumping up the crowd. Good to see David in work. Kayleen, right?
You know, that's right up his alley. That's exactly what he loves to do.
Well, 2-0 the advantage for McMurray. The Rattlers again jumping ahead. It's Laura Holman. Mind you, Rattler fans, come on out to the games. It's wonderful atmosphere. We have the Rowdy Rattlers here, and last time we had the tennis team come out, fully dressed up in what are those called?
They're called morph suits.
Morph suits.
Like
and it's just a really all-around great atmosphere. Something that our new athletic director Liz Dalton has put an emphasis on, and for the first time in several years, soccer, baseball, softball—they're all back on campus. Come out and see the new beautiful parks at St. Mary's University.
Well, soccer's not quite on campus yet. They haven't gotten to move it.
Getting pretty close though.
But any day now.
October 16th, I believe, is the commencement ceremonies for those games. Also, check out our Facebook page. We'll have information on the softball alumni game that'll be coming up. You can find all that and more, of course, RattlerAthletics.com, St. Mary's Rattlers on Facebook. 2-2 apiece, Tori Estrada making her first appearance of the game. Julie Kels, who is also making her first appearance, heading towards the bench. What have you seen out of Estrada so far this year, Kelsey? You like her a lot, or a transfer student? What do you think about her game so far?
I have not gotten to see a whole lot of Estrada. I really haven't. She's good from what I can see. I've heard that she gave libero Victoria Martinez a lot of competition in the preseason, and so I honestly like to see both of them in the game at the same time, because that's just setting you up with a solid back row.
And it looks like they're pretty much handling those back row duties all by themselves. The other back row player in there currently is Michaela Bass. She's kind of creeped up more towards the net, of course, as she's handling the setting duties. 4-2, the advantage for the Rattlers. Bass able to handle the dump.
Well, you saw Coach Payne get on her a little bit for not being in position to handle that, so I see that she's made that adjustment.
Bass now on the set. Huber will send it over. That one laid up at the net. Huber sends it back over. The Rattlers just some great play here to start. 5-2 now their advantage as they look to seize momentum in this third game. Coach Payne still having a conversation with Bass over there. Estrada still on the serve. Martinez the dig after the tip. That one just sailed a little bit on Holman. As she was looking for another kill, not able to find it there. 5-3 now, the advantage for St. Mary's. Garcia back to serve for McMurray. Martinez steps up to handle it. Jenna Paul. That one just out of play. 5-4 now. Huber really having to elevate there, but she finds the line. 6-4 now. It feels like a long time since we've heard the name of Kelsey Huber called.
I mean, I've said that since last year. I really like Kelsey Huber as a player. She's a great all-around player. She's smart. She puts the ball in a solid place every time. She's got a good swing, good vertical. She's a great defensive player, and I mean, obviously the coaches keep her in the entire game. So
her and Ortega we usually see in the entire game. Look like Ortega getting a bit of a breather here, which is a strategy we've seen Coach Warmack Chipman do before. She'll play Ortega for the entire first two games and then sit her out to start the third game and then put her in when the game gets to its crucial points. But it must be incredibly difficult to play that front and back row for the entire game, and exhausting too to an extent, as we see Hef get on top of that one. Shishitano and Slaughter come in. Bass and Holman head over towards the bench. Another thing I like that Coach Warmack Chipman's doing is you see her playing freshmen with freshmen a lot and sophomores with sophomores. And by freshmen with freshmen, I obviously mean the pairing of Slaughter and Shishitano, a couple of freshmen, and then Bass and Holman, a couple of sophomores who are paired together. I really like that combination, and I think it's good for chemistry more than anything else.
I think she definitely sees that the chemistry is going to be there when you're on the same level as somebody else. And obviously for whenever Bass and Holman, whenever they graduate, it's going to be Shishitano and Slaughter as that dynamic duo, really.
8 apiece. Estrada will head out of game. Julie Kells heads in. Julie Kells, her photo featured on the game day for today, the cover photo. Very beautifully done by our own photographer, Tony Morano. Mr. Morano, of course, wonderful work he does with the Spurs, with us, with just about any high school football team you can find. You can find his works. I'm going to plug one more time at RattlerAthletics.com. 9-8, advantage for McMurray. And that one finds the court. 10-8 now for McMurray. And the Rattlers here, Kayleen, they're down 2 games to none. It's looking rough, but what do they have to do in order to come back? Just 1 point at a time, or?
They need to play smart. Obviously, the only thing that you can do is take it 1 point at a time. They need to definitely boost their morale a little bit, and I think the only way you're going to do that is by getting a big block and or a kill and kind of taking their momentum from there.
Back to serve is Seaton. Huber, a bit of a miss pass there. Martinez sends it over.
From what I can tell, the passing has been a little bit off in this match for the Rattlers, and I think that's been a big thing. I mean, everything in volleyball starts with a pass, and if your passing isn't there, you're gonna give your setters a really hard time to put up a solid set for your hitters.
As Jenna Paul's come into the game, Heft heads toward the bench. 12-9 now. And coming into the game is Angela Snow as Heath heads over to the bench. I always want to say to take a seat, but they don't sit.
They don't sit.
Why is that? I've been looking for the answer. I've Googled it, everything. I can't seem to figure it out. Why do you not sit in volleyball?
I think it varies from team to team, but I think most of the time on the collegiate level, you're just going to keep your muscles more warm when you're standing.
Did you sit when you played? You don't remember?
Well, I mean,
I was always in the game.
During club, I stood on the sidelines because there just wasn't any seating in those venues. But my dad always told me not to sit down. It just
keep moving.
It's hard to keep warm when you're sitting down. During high school, I didn't come out, so I didn't really get an opportunity to sit.
Well, 13-11 now for McMurray. Bear Bass to serve. Oh man, and that one was a beauty. It's a befuddled Garcia. 13-12 now for McMurray. That ball just had so much life off her hand, and you saw the dip down to the court. This one a floater. That one met at the net by the Rattlers. That one dug out. Martinez, Jenna Paul to swing. And she finds the line. The Rattlers have squared it away. So quick 4-0 run for St. Mary's. We're tied at 13 apiece. In the game for the Rattlers, Kells, Holman, Paul, Huber, Martinez, and Bass. And you see Michaela there saying, "My bad." I think she thought that was her ball. McMurray really just doing a good job of finding the soft spot of that court. They've gotten several points off of that.
One of the things that I always struggled with as a setter was playing defense, because you're always ready to run up to target to get ready to set the ball for your hitters, and it's just really hard to remember, like, you have to play defense first.
And as a setter, you're always looking to have that second ball, not that first ball.
So it's definitely hard to stay in your zone for defense as a setter. You're always just ready to go on the run. Actually, sorry to interrupt you, but fun fact about setters is that they run about a mile on average per set.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
15-13 now. Huber on the dig. I wonder how that would compare to maybe a midfielder in soccer. who have to move around a ton. I know it's probably not the same as midfielders are usually measured over the entire distance of a game, but if you were to take the same amount of time, who would move more? Tweet at us what you think, Rattler fans, at St. Mary's Rattlers. You can follow us on Twitter and tweet at us. On a quick break here. 16-13, the advantage for McMurray as you're watching Rattlers Volleyball on the new Rattler Network. And welcome back, Rattler Nation. Let's jump right back into the action. Jenna Paul, she's met at the net. 17-13 now for McMurray. So they're looking to complete the sweep here of St. Mary's, already being up 2-0. That serve sails out of bounds. Harkins a bit too much on it. 17-14 now. Estrada in the game with her Martinez, Bear, Bass, Huber, Jenna Paul, and Holman. Estrada the floater. Evans is set. And Holman combines there with Bass. And Holman on the block sends it back. 17-15 now. The Rattlers still showing signs of life. Estrada to serve. Evans just sends it over on the second touch. And Huber will give McMurray the free ball. Hines there. And I believe a lift's going to be called there on now being in the net instead for Michaela Bass. I think you could have chosen either of the two. 18-15 now. Estrada, good read there. Holman sent back at the net. That's Heathcote on the block. 19-15 now, and if you're the Rattlers, it's when you desperately need to put a run together. Garcia to serve. Paul. She manages to get it down. 19-15 now. If you're St. Mary's, you really love to run 4 points off in a row here.
And I mean, Jenna is exactly the person that you want back serving.
That one sails out of bounds. 19-17 now. Over it goes, a little free ball. Bass to Heft. Paul, a good pass there. Huber now on the tip. Garcia digs it out. And a little tip over again. And Holman finally takes a swing. Bass able to read it that time. And Holman beat at the net. That's Seaton, who's able to elevate up there and get it. 20-17 now. As McMurray looks to close this one out. Martinez into the game. Paul heading over to the bench. Good pass there. Huber. That one's tipped, so point to the Rattlers. Shishitano and Slaughter head into the game.
Actually, they put in Isbell.
Oh, Isbell, you're correct. You saw Isbell warming up on the bench with a stretch band. We're going to give the Rattlers some energy here. And immediately making an impact on the game. Her and Huber combined for that one. Heft. Shishitano to serve. Martinez, good dig there. Huber, she's met at the net. And 2 touches called on Shishitano, and Coach Warmack Chipman didn't like that one.
This ref has actually called a lot of those. I haven't seen a game that's been called so closely in a while.
It does feel like a great deal, but I think they're about even for both sides. Maybe a couple more on St. Mary's, but that might just me being a little bit biased. Heft, and that one sent back, and Rattlers a bit out of position there. And that double touch really does hurt the Rattlers. It's a difference between 2 points. Timeout for St. Mary's. We'll go on ahead and take it with them. So you're watching Rattlers Volleyball on the Rattler Network.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And welcome back, Rattler Nation. 22-19, the advantage for McMurray. Martinez digs that one out. Huber, that one finds the line. That's the line the Rattlers will have to walk. No mistakes here. Ortega coming into the game. Ortega really the vocal leader of this team, you can tell. Huber to serve. That one just popped back on over for the Rattlers. And they take advantage. That's what they have to do. 22-21. And McMurray, after a 2-0 run by the Rattlers, will respond with a timeout of their own. We'll go on ahead and keep it here, Kayleen. What do the Rattlers have to do here? 22-21. First things first, you need a good serve out of Huber, correct? What does that do for your team? We just saw an example of it last point.
I think Huber has a great serve on her, and she's great at placing the ball where she knows who the weak passer is on McMurray, and obviously the coaches are giving her a little bit of direction on where to serve the ball, but start with a great serve from Huber. Hopefully McMurray can't set up a solid attack, but as long as the Rattlers play defense and they get a good set to Shishitano, then I think if they can set up a good offensive run, they can take this game.
All right, back to action we go. 22-21. Huber to serve. A bit of a mistimed hit there, but still manages to find the soft spot of the court for McMurray. 23-21 now. Martinez there. That one's put down. Heft. 23-22. Out goes Heft. In comes Paul. Martinez now to serve. So in for the Rattlers, Isbell, Martinez, Paul, Huber, Ortega, and Shishitano. This one floated over. Huber able to get to it. Here's Ortega. That one met at the net, but able to find the court. We're split away, 23 apiece. Momentum seemingly in the Rattlers' corner. If you're St. Mary's, you really want this point. Whoever wins this one's on game point. Martinez to serve. And it's met at the net.
Exactly what you want from Isbell.
And Paul sent back Martinez, not able to handle it. And the momentum swings back to McMurray now. They're on match point. Snow to serve. Martinez able to dig it out. Here's Paul attacking from the middle. That one just out of play, and St. Mary's moves to 0-5 on the season while at home. They drop this one 3-0, but St. Mary's will be looking for redemption. St. Edward's coming into town. That game on Saturday, the Battle of the Saints, arrival of the Rattlers. Saturday is the day. The game will be at noon. So come out, Rattler fans, support your St. Mary's Rattlers. If you cannot, then watch on RattlerAthletics.com here with Joe Rodriguez, Kayleen Zelznak. Kayleen, quick wrap-up of the game. What do the Rattlers need to improve on in the young season?
I saw that they really needed to work on their defense and just their passing in general. Their hitters are there, their block is there, the setting is there. It's just the passing that needs a lot of work, and they have it. They have the talent there, just a little bit more communication and a little bit more consistency, and I think they'll be solid for the rest of the season if they can manage that.
Well, Kayleen, wonderful having you on the broadcast. Hopefully we have you on more in the future. For Kayleen Zelznak, Chad Peters, David Tovar, Robin Johnson, everybody up in the booth. I'm Joe Rodriguez. This has been a presentation of Rattler Athletics on the brand new Rattler Network. Take care, everyone.